I met Mike at Bellini's. I didn't talk to Mike really until the very end of the night when we were both sitting at the head of the table, and I don't know, it got really quiet, and he just said it from one end of the table that he thought he was in love with me, and that was the first time we ever really spoke.
He was a good guy. Mike was really handy.
That wasn't me.
And he had a good heart and won us over kind of type thing.
Mike was a hardworking guy that loved the outdoors, anything that had to do with Mustangs especially. Loved his Mustangs, but cars in general he really loved. He had nice blue eyes, same color as Nicholas's, so I like that Nick has his eye color. His smile, he had a great smile, a contagious laughter. He loved music, loud music. Loved being around his friends and his family, and he was just a really friendly, happy guy.
We ended up, we had the wedding actually November 11th, 2011, right in our home right here, because Carly's grandmother was in the hospital. She was dying of cancer, and so she managed to get the day out, and so she came to the wedding.
He sold his work truck and decided he was going to buy a ring for me with the money that he got for the truck. It wasn't going to be any kind of special ring or anything. It was just he wanted to get me a piece of jewelry. And then one day he's like, let's just run away and get married. And he's like, you got a ring now. So that's kind of how it happened.
Nothing you would take, everything you give. Did I say that I need you? Oh, did I say that I want you? Oh, if I did, I'm a fool, you see. No one knows this more than me, 'cause I come cleaner. Nothing you would take, everything you gave. Oh, hold me till I die, eat you on the other side.
So we legally got married here in Red Deer, in my parents' house, this house here, on November 11th, 2011. Wanted to legally get married here first with my grandmother. And then the following January, we got on a plane and went to Mexico and got married on the beach there on January 17th, 2012.
And then we went to Mexico. We went to the Riviera for their wedding. Carly always wanted a beach wedding. So there was about 12 of us that went, and family and friends, and we had the beach wedding she always wanted. And
Mike never left the country, so it was his first time away, and I think Mexico was a good first vacation out of the country. So I remember more of the one here. I just remember he did not look at me once. He was so nervous. He was shaking, and he just kept looking down at my aunt's hands holding her book or whatever. And he didn't look at me at all. And then I kind of was bugging him about it, and I guess when we were in Mexico, I didn't look at him at all, so it's kind of funny. I guess I was more nervous there, and he was more nervous here, so.
But I think their future was looking good, and they just bought their own little mobile home and had their little, their 2 cats and their 2 dogs, and we're expecting a baby, and everything looked pretty good.
I was told I wasn't able to have children on my own because my hormone levels were low. So I was at work and I thought I was coming down with every disease there was, and I thought I was dying, so I was going to the doctor to get all my blood work done. I needed an MRI, I told him. I needed blah, 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 everything. Thought I was dying, and so he sent me for blood work, came back a couple days later and found out I was pregnant. So Mike was working away, so I texted him just a little meme, and it said, "Keep calm, you're gonna be a daddy," or something. And he never texted me back. And then he called me about an hour later, and he was just casually talking, and I'm like, didn't you get my little meme? And he said, yeah. And I'm like, what are you gonna say? He's like, well, you're just lying. You're just joking. I know it. I know you're not pregnant. I'm like, but I am pregnant. So he was a little shocked. I wanted it to be a surprise. Mike wanted to find out. So I let the lady, the ultrasound tech, let her know that Mike wanted to know, and I didn't. And you know, Mike was always, I know it's a boy, I know it's a boy. And I'm like, okay, well, you can find out, but don't tell me. The first thing he did, he was like, yes! He's like, I knew it. And I'm like, you just told me, now I know it's a boy. I tried to convince myself that I had no idea, but I really knew. So then I thought it'd be fun to try and tell him that, you know, the next ultrasound I went to, he didn't come with me, so I tried to trick him and tell him that they told me it was a girl, but he didn't believe me. We were picking out boys' names, and that was our deal from the beginning. I said, if it's a girl, I'll pick the name. If it's a boy, you can pick the name. Nicholas was his last name that he picked, actually. We're going through the baby books, and Nicholas popped up in the book, and he's like, yeah, I like that name. And I was like, but, you know, Shane, his best friend's son, was named Nicholas. And I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. So he called up Julie, the wife, Shane's wife, and it was probably 11 at night, and he's like, hey, Julie, do you think it's okay if we name our kid Nicholas too? She's like, yeah. So that's kind of how it happened. And then Nick's middle name is Joseph because Michael's middle name was Joseph. So it's kind of been a name passed down through the Gilmod family. So.
Then just after the baby was born, Carly and I were in the hospital actually with Nicholas because he was having a hard night, and Carly was concerned because he was only 6 days old, and And after we got out of the hospital, I took Carly home, and the police were right behind us 5 minutes later and just informed us that Mike had died.
So Saturday night, Mike went out to celebrate with his friends, and Nick ended up, well, nothing was really wrong with him, but I was worried, so I took him to the hospital, and I was in there till about 8:30 maybe, I'd say. And then we came home, and we were just gonna get some things together for Nick. And the police showed up at the door about 10 minutes after we got there and let me know that Mike was in an accident and that he didn't make it.
It was heartbreaking to see Carly going through this at such a young age. She was beside herself, new baby, trying to nurse, trying to get things organized in the house, and then this happening, and just something right out of the blue.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew.
It was just before Christmas, and so Carly had an ultrasound picture taken, and Darcy didn't know anything about this. And on Christmas Day, Darcy opened up a present from Carly and Mike, and it was a picture frame with the ultrasound figure in it, and he didn't quite know what it was at first, and then he glued in that it was a baby. But yeah, so it was kind of funny.
I was raised without a father myself, so my dad died when I was 6, and there were 6 of us left at home, so I know how hard it is on a single mom, so I want to be a big part in his life as much as I can. Try to give him that, what Mike would want me to do, I guess. Try to help out a bit, because Mike was going to be a great dad.
First you both go out your way and the vibe is feeling strong, and what's small turn to a friendship.
I had amazing support from my friends and family, and definitely needed that right then. He would have been a really good dad. So.
People were just unbelievable. Our family and our friends and her friends were very, very good. And she had donations of diapers and formula and
Everything.
clothing and everything you could think of. Overwhelming that total strangers would do this, and it just renews your faith in humanity.
I guess, I don't know, it's different all the time. Like, I could just see a car drive by and I think of him, what he would, I don't know, driving beside him or something.
We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about